Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes. Hello, everybody.
Hi, gang.
Good
Unfortunately,
afternoon.
I'm now wishing that I can't set the timer back because I think that everybody in the audience has missed the best part of the show already.
Nobody's that impressed with your masturbating. Come on.
You know, I could go off on that, but I think I would tend to make some people uncomfortable.
Well, you got off on it for sure. We all saw. Audience, I'm telling lies about Purple. Purple is much too dignified to do that in front of others.
Well, it depends on who the other is.
Yeah.
Or it may depend on who the other is.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever masturbated in front of somebody else. I've had sex with other people in front of other people, but
I would be too embarrassed. It just seems as such a animalistic, baser thing to do. I just wouldn't know. Not in front of others.
Yeah.
Only my mirror. I mean,
actually, I guess I did do it in front of my ex, but it's something she was kind of into. So anyway, in the side chat, I see all of us, and I see Molly there.
Hi again, Molly. Hi, all of us.
Hi, Molly.
Or would that be all of you?
Yeah, but before we went live, we were having a rather rambunctious conversation about all the animals that are exhibitionist and seem to get a charge out of doing it when there's cameras around.
So I didn't think that was the kind of nut that we'd be talking about today.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it is National Nut Day, and well, I suppose that qualifies.
I was expecting it.
Well, okay.
Actually, all of these guys who want to participate in No Nut November are probably going overboard this month to, get as much of it in as they can.
It got so cold around here last night. All the guys are walking around with lumps in their throat.
I don't get that, and I'm not sure I want to.
Hey, Angie. Oh, hi.
I was at the store this morning and I got myself a small package of cheese curds. They're so good. I'm gonna eat them all. I won't shit for a week.
Slothgirl loves cheese curds, and it was a big part of the state fair experience. That just you couldn't get any of them. She claimed you couldn't get any of them that were quite right if they didn't come, from a food truck or from the state fair booth.
Yeah. Kind of like elephant ears.
Well,
Indian or African?
Yeah.
The food.
Well, you've got to go for the African ones because that's one of the key differences between the African and Asian elephants. Is the African elephants have far bigger ears.
Oh, I thought maybe they're crunchier.
Kebabs always taste better at a fair or something like that too.
I'm sorry. What tastes better?
Kebabs.
Well, just fair food in general. Yeah, it is something about the experience. I mean, even the French fries at the state fair were better. Of course, you know about about the French fries at the state fair.
And the
Well,
Mr.
salmonella
Potato,
ones.
yep,
Salmonellas was the best you could get.
yep.
Mm-mm.
The French fries at the state fair. Mr. Potato Head is a bucket of parts.
Do 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 do.
Brian Stevens, yeah, somebody we don't get to see here very often.
Wow. Hey, Bri.
Hi, Brian.
Oh, and for people who are into Halloween decorations, Angie has put up a video of her yard decorations. She really goes all out for Halloween, so
My mom used to go all out for Halloween.
Those decorations are too expensive.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I went all out anyways. I just put a pumpkin on Santa's head and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, cover all the holidays here, huh?
no, don't do that.
Oh, now that's an idea. Get a
No.
Santa, put a pumpkin on his head, give it turkey feathers, bunny ears, pull out a couple of teeth for the tooth fairy. Oh, that could be fun. I'm going to work on that. Oh, and make paint really diseased, like blotches and open wounds on it for Christopher Columbus Day.
No, we've got to draw a line here. Christmas has already absorbed Thanksgiving. We can't let it take over Halloween.
Somebody already did it. Well, I hate whoever did that.
It's an old image.
Mary, everything I like it.
No, I'm drawing a line. I refuse to do anything about Christmas until after Halloween is over. The squirrels can be drunk leading up to Halloween. I suppose that was part of the part before we went online. That November is Drunken Squirrel Month, when the squirrels are eating all the jack-o'-lanterns that have been fermenting for a month.
Well, there's this pack of squirrel broke into my house and raided my liquor cabinet. But that was in June, so.
Ah, yes, the holiday clusterfuck. That's from that guy with the glasses. Or Nostalgia Critic, that was it.
We have these two big black walnut trees in our front yard. And the squirrels love them this time of year, of course. And they've been burying nuts all over the place.
Okay. Why did the cow jump over the moon?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's when milk was the highest.
God, my usual jar of instant coffee I bought this morning was $10. That's up almost 50%.
Damn. Because the farmer had cold hands.
I heard his press secretary was making all kinds of big, whoop-de-doo, hooray, hooray, when she was telling that gas is dropping below $3 a gallon. People had a reminder that it's supposed to be below $2 a gallon. It's like it's been saying all along.
So, does anybody know if some nuts are more prone to food allergies than other nuts?
Yes.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
I imagine it has to do with different types of proteins in them.
Okay.
Well, the most common you hear about is peanuts, and peanuts aren't a nut; they're a legume,
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
and so they're structured different than tree nuts.
Hmm.
However, a recent, I believe it was Harvard study that they talked about on the news this last week, in families where the infants and newborns were fed small quantities of peanut butter at very young ages, like 3-4 months and up, experienced a 43% reduction in peanut allergies.
Yeah, this whole avoid eat peanuts with little kids thing actually increases the chance of allergies.
So what I figure is that you should be sure not to expose children to Republicans when they're really young. Maybe they'll be less likely to become Republican.
Nice.
I was exposed to evangelicals when I was really young, and now I'm an atheist.
That's because you're so smart.
I credit my autism with preventing the Catholic indoctrination from taking hold.
Yeah. My mom had a lot of in her later years. She developed a lot of food allergies that aggravated her arthritis, and I remember there was a point where her diet got trimmed down to like rice, and okay, let's try lamb now, and tried different things from there, and beef and chicken were okay, but pork wasn't. And I remember there was one dish that she was really fond of that, called for pork sausage. So we substituted ground beef. But one addition she made to the recipe was peanuts, and that never went away. So apparently peanuts weren't a problem.
Yeah. My daughter's partner did not know she was allergic to peanuts, but went into anaphylactic shock at school because they served up her food with the same spoon that they had used to stir something that had peanuts in it. And just that little trace amount in her food was enough to do it.
I would imagine fish would have been okay for your mom.
Fish?
Yeah. Omega 3s would likely be okay, and actually probably be helpful because they tend to reduce inflammation.
We had this woman on the staff when I worked at a psych hospital, and she was allergic to peanuts, virulently allergic. And one day somebody brought in cookies, but they weren't peanut butter cookies, but they had peanut butter in them as kind of an extra side seasoning to them. So it was just like a teaspoon for the whole recipe.
Yeah.
And she just touched one, and she said, well, like within 5 seconds, she could feel her fingers starting to tingle.
Yeah.
And she went into a full-blown arrest. Fortunately, being in a hospital, we were able to take care of her. But Well, if that happened out in the in the park or something,
Yeah.
EpiPens were not popular then.
Molly's son was telling me that one of his teachers has a severe peanut allergy to the point that just the odor of it can set her off.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, since these students have become aware of this, some of the students in her class have been putting Reese's peanut butter cups on her desk.
Oh,
and
that
she
is
can't
sick.
touch them. Yeah, she can't touch them to remove them. So she has to get somebody else to take them off of her desk before she can approach the desk.
That is just sick. God, children are just so fucked up.
Yeah, teenage bullies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't care if we could kill her. Oh, we're gonna do it. It's just a joke.
Yep.
They probably don't think that far ahead.
Yeah. So Jenny, what is the botanical definition of a nut?
I don't know.
Well,
Somebody who jumps around wearing a clown suit. All I know is that it's a protein-based substance.
I guess we need to Google that to get
A fruit
proper
with
definition.
a fruit with a hard or dry shell containing a single seed.
Ah, okay.
So,
Not going to touch that one.
So, other
what
than
makes the nut
peanuts,
is having a hard shell.
Well, during sex, anyways.
so other than peanuts, are there any other things commonly called nuts that don't meet that definition?
Eggs.
Well, honestly, my family doesn't have a very hard shell, but
My head. A lime that's been those will get soft.
yeah, actually, I have an experiment I'm wanting to try. That I've collected some black walnuts, and I'm wanting to try processing them and basically using everything. I can't eat the nuts myself, but I want to use the husk to make a wood stain.
Well, if it helps. Almonds, cashews, and pecans are drupes.
Droops.
Yep. They have a fleshy outer layer.
Well, so do walnuts. That's why I was saying that walnuts have a soft outer husk before you get to the hard shell in there.
Yep, walnuts are drupes as well.
Well, the tannin should make a decent stain. I mean, it's awful dark and it stains like fucking concrete. I mean,
oh yeah, it stains everything, and that's the black walnut wood stain is very prized by woodworkers and very expensive, and that's why I wanted to try making it myself. So I would have some for some special projects.
Pine nuts. That's another one it's a seed, not a nut.
Yep.
Sunflowers. Those aren't nuts.
Well, actually, a pine nut should. Well, okay, a pine nut doesn't qualify because it's not a single seed in there, but it definitely has a hard outer shell. If you've seen pine cones before they open up, they're really tough.
Soy. Sometimes sometimes they're referred to as soy nuts. They're beans.
Also, almonds and pistachios would fall under the the not botanical kind of nut.
Oh. Okay. Antir has a video there about making nut milk from hickory nuts.
And then there's the entire cast of One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest. Which is where I first saw the actor. Oh God, no! How could I forget his name? Jeez.
Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd,
Christopher Lloyd.
Jack Nicholson.
Christopher Lloyd.
Okay, Antir, we were just saying that, yeah, cashews are not legumes. Cashews are a legitimate tree nut.
Ah,
So, I assume almonds and pecans are also.
Hazelnuts.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the tip, Brian. That the ones that have already turned black aren't good for it.
interesting.
I wasn't aware that made a difference. I thought I could use the black ones as well. Yes, well, yeah, that's why, you know.
Yes, Ancher. Peanuts are legumes.
Yep.
Which is one of my favorite words, legume.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to say, legume.
Yeah, peanuts are legumes because they grow underground.
Almonds have titties?
Yeah, well, that's how you get almond milk.
Oh, okay.
It takes a lot,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work, and
So is it just my southern accent that has me pronounce it legume?
I don't know.
No, I've heard it pronounced both ways.
I think it's probably a regional thing. If you're in Milwaukee, you pronounce it legume. That city says a lot of weird things.
Well, maybe a legume is like a toe bean.
My favorite Milwaukeeism is I'll meet you where the streetcar bends the corner around.
Where the streetcar bends the corner around?
Yeah.
Not familiar with that reference.
I'll meet you where the streetcar bends the corner around. That's a place.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that the quote was like from a piece of literature or something.
No, it's from the south side of Milwaukee. That's how they talk.
Okay.
Although that has lessened today. But when I was a kid, it was how we were supposed to talk, and my parents would not allow us to talk that way. We learned proper English.
Ancher says I pronounce it legume.
No, legume with
What?
the Y sound.
Yeah, legume.
Well, it's also where you put the accent on lay or gume or gume.
Yep.
I just figure if it wasn't supposed to be pronounced legume, they wouldn't have put the U in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, then again, I don't even know what language it comes from because.
And then it would have just been legum.
Yeah, but, because of the French, the British put U's in places that they just don't belong, so.
well, when your parents are getting on you about using proper English, just tell them to egress and self-fornicate.
Yeah, that's always struck me as kind of funny. Proper English is speaking French.
Yeah, well, that's because there was a period when the French nobles decided that English, or the English nobles rather, decided that English was the peasant language. So in court, they would only speak French.
That was I heard a story once that's where the English accent came from is that the posh wanted to separate themselves from the peasantry and started
Oh yeah,
speaking with an accent, and that it just kind of stuck over time.
yeah. Well, that's why even to this day that the people in the UK will call it the posh accent.
Hey Brian, I can make your leg goon.
Oh, there you go. Pecan or pecan?
Pecan, says the
Well,
southerner.
I don't eat pecans. They belong outside in the outhouse.
Yeah. Although they do have a hard outer shell, and they probably have a lot of seeds in them.
Well, so does a pecan.
Yeah. I don't pee in cans, typically.
No, that's why I was saying, Jenny, the pecan has a hard outer shell and has seeds in it.
And you don't want to pee in a can. It really sucks. I lived at a place that had no inside plumbing, and chamber pots are not fun to live with, to use or smell.
That's why you pee in a plastic bottle that you can screw the top back on.
God, that would be hard lining up these days.
Or in a solo cup that you can, throw out or, rinse out or throw away. Or put in the recycling. Use gloves when you handle recycling.
Yeah, but if you don't have indoor plumbing, you can't afford the water to rinse it out.
Okay.
You lick it.
Yeah, just sitting there with your solo cup. Get some nice glass of water, and then the person walks in and asks, "Where's my pee cup?"
Yep.
There's a pea cup and a pecan and a shit cup. Shit can. Yeah, shit can.
Then there's two girls, one cup.
Which is the most fun.
Actually, my grandparents' house did not have indoor plumbing. And there was a bucket with a seat that was kept under the sink. Just so
In
that,
the kitchen?
well, yeah, just so that, in the winter, if you absolutely had to go in the middle of the night, you didn't have to get fully dressed to go to the bathroom. So it was emergency uses only. It wasn't something that was used daily.
Jer Apple used to sell those as a piece of swag. An iCup. I have an iMilk bottle.
Well, actually, my late fiance had that beat because she had J cups.
Oh my!
She had a sore back too.
Yeah, thinking
Yes,
about
she
it.
did.
Thinking about it, Apple should get into the porn industry. Think about it. I fuck.
Yeah, that sounds like that should be a pornographic version of YouTube for people to upload their own videos.
God, I'm so sick of this. I have had a literal faucet. My nose has turned into a literal faucet for the last almost 18 hours now.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
constant dripping.
I've just been having the on and off thing myself.
I've been having sneezing jags that went on for a half an hour. Like
Ooh.
a sneeze every 15 to 20 seconds.
That sucks.
Oh, I'm not allergic to anything. Well, except Republicans, and nobody's moved in lately.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have that from my allergies. Even with taking allergy pills pretty much every time I go out, because among other things, I'm allergic to, most of the artificial fragrances. So it's just a matter of going past people who have, washed their clothes in detergents or fabric softeners that have a pretty fragrance. So just every time I go to the store, my nose is running, and But that-
YouPorn. Oh, sorry, I was reading comments. What is Theo sending us? I'm afraid to click on that.
so
All right.
far, you
I'll
said hello.
click. I'll see what it is.
Okay. YouPorn, I was not aware of that one.
This whole thing with them trying to do age verification on like a Pornhub and shit like that. Yeah, totally useless.
Theo, there is one called PornTube.
Mm. First of all, you can just get around it with a VPN if you want to. And then, of course, there's plenty of other sites that just don't bother.
Yeah, some of the states are, passing laws that they can't distribute porn to people in their state, and it's like, yeah, good luck with that. It's like,
Yeah.
the teenagers are always the first ones to hack that shit.
You have to put in your personal data to access the site. They have that in Florida, Texas, and Kentucky, as far as I'm aware. There's probably more.
Yeah,
VPN can get around it. Or there's plenty of other sites that don't bother putting that kind of thing up.
yeah, but Pornhub has completely gone against it because some of them passed laws that the users are supposed to like upload their driver's license or state ID.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
And yeah, well, that's Pornhub said no, they're just not going to do that because they don't think that their site needs to have that personal information about the users.
No, they didn't. They didn't go ahead. They didn't do that. You have to sign in.
You have to sign in, but you don't have to upload an ID.
Mm.
And technically you have to sign in, but you can still preview a lot of stuff on Pornhub without signing in.
Doesn't really matter to me. Most of the stuff there is pretty boring anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, you're obviously not a mega. Because if you were, you'd be on the porn all day. The surveys show they're the number one consumers of trans porn anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I think all these regulations on the porn, I think they were actually pushed by a lobby of the companies that sell VPNs.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I think America really wants the Republican Party to start banning porn, and really controlling our lives because they know how to live better than any of us.
Well, it's coming from the party of small government,
Yeah.
Also, the party that crashes Grindr every time they have a major rally.
Just remember, every time a Republican writes "small government," they're spelling "small" correctly, but they're spelling penis completely wrong.
porn with blackjack and hookers, snorting cocaine off of strippers' asses and dressed like Satan.
By the way, you guys all heard that Trump revealed the truth that the demonstrations on Saturday were a complete failure and sparsely attended, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I've also already seen channels that are trying to debunk the photos, claiming that like the pictures of the Boston protest that couldn't be Boston in October because there's still green leaves on the trees.
Yeah, they're trying to argue that the images you're seeing are from 2017.
Well, somebody should explain to them that the average temperature in Minnesota in October is still 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And of course, we have Trump uploading an AI image of himself wearing a crown, flying a fighter jet, and dumping shit all over American people, which kind of seems about right for what he does.
What a
And
juvenile.
apparently, yeah, that AI has really backfired on him because it has actually made people realize that, yeah, this is what he thinks of the American people, that he can shit all over them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I took an AI upload of from him for people to realize that. I mean, I would have preferred if it took less than that, but
Yeah, I would have preferred if they had realized this before the last election, but
Oh, Ancher, I thought you were. I'm disappointed. I checked your link and I'm bummed that the down detector wasn't a record of the Charlie Kirk melee and or excuse me, funeral and the Republican convention. I wish somebody would have recorded that.
yeah, that there were no King's rallies in over 2,500 cities around the world.
yeah, I would have attended mine, but I just wasn't feeling that great to be able to do the walking in that day.
I think that says more than anything at all, everything at all, that there were protests literally worldwide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that other countries were getting in on it.
So I believe the last one was like 5,000 people estimated to have attended. I believe this last one was something like 7,000.
Yep.
That's or 7 million.
I'm surrounded by three small other small towns. Two of them are much bigger than us. They're like four to 5,000 people each, and they each had protests there, as well as La Crosse itself.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a city of 30,000 people. Of course, that doesn't count the suburbs as they are, but and the first one we had about 2,000 people, and I was told that from this one there were over 7,000 people. So it's like, it was more than tripled.
Yeah, I wonder if the next one will even be bigger.
I heard something that there's going to be one in December. That doesn't make a lot of sense.
I haven't heard anything about one in December yet.
Yeah, I don't know. But
people are really starting to push for a general strike at this point, that everybody should stop spending money and stop working for a week. And
Might be a bit difficult for some.
yeah,
of course. But
yeah,
if you get a couple million people doing that, it's going to make a dent.
yeah. Yeah, that would make quite a dent if it stopped production, but our economy is already on the skids at this point.
Of course, after tonight, I may have to join the Republican Party when I win the Mega Millions lottery. It's up to 650 million. So,
also one of the chairman of one of the major Republican fundraiser organizations,
yes,
has resigned because he says he cannot stand the corruption in the party any longer.
Yes, he is no longer going to donate, and he resigned from his committee position that solicits other donations.
Yeah.
It's wonderful news. Of course, everybody is in the mainstream media is not talking about it.
Yeah, Brian Stevens, I'm sure that in Florida they're trying to downplay the numbers. Thea wants to hear the unfinished song. I don't know if you're ready to do that publicly yet.
What's missing? Just the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Yeah, I don't think that any of the anything more than the background music for it has been recorded yet.
So actually, that's even the background music is kind of an ongoing discussion. Humanist guitarist was suggesting like an orchestral backing track, and I was thinking something simpler, like maybe piano or electric guitar, and actually electric guitar would kind of work better with the music I have in mind for the credit roll. It'd be because that music is kind of bluesy, so it would be less of a contrast.
Do a Jimi Hendrix style?
Not ish.
Yeah, that wouldn't work too well with lyrics.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, electric guitar, but not with the wild virtuoso stuff. But I do have a different song available that I did as kind of practice to because I was practicing using Audacity and Pinnacle Studio, and I will upload that right now. So let me just go ahead and I put it on MidAmerica chats.
Did you get those pictures I sent?
Yes. Yeah, the flag pictures.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was and my comment when I put it on Twitter and Blue Sky was, I did a silly thing, a dinosaur helped. And when I post the Let Freedom Ring thing, my tagline will be, I did a serious thing, a lot of people helped.
That was great.
Dewclaws are generally vestigial digits. However, in some carnivorous species, they do contact the ground while running at high speed and may provide extra traction.
Dewclaw, Dewclaw, do you remember me? Dewclaw, Dewclaw, do you remember me? Dewclaw, Dewclaw, oh, do you remember me? Look away beyond the dew.
Eagles don't have, or raptors don't have dew claws. They're birds.
Well, if I think it counts as a dew claw if it's facing the opposite direction from the rest of the claws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The birds of prey, the dew claws, just it's extended as long as the other ones so that they can grip things.
I had my dew claws removed.
Yeah, my claws are past due.
Good one, Purple.
can't play the crickets after somebody's laughed or the trombone.
Hey, can we push a new and upcoming songwriter, singer type person?
Okay.
We just pushed me.
Well, that's why I thought that maybe we could push somebody else too.
Yeah, well, Republicans are like slinkies. It's fun to laugh as you push them down the stairs.
I'm not going to touch that. I'd get in trouble. Back.
So push it, Jenny.
I'll be right back. I gotta get what I'm going to push.
Okay.
The name is F it, I'm not a songwriter.
That sounds like a good musician name.
Yeah, I suppose that view was correct then, that the opposable thumb that some dinosaurs have would be the dew claw. There's a cute musician name. There's a trans woman who performs under the name Feminem.
Nice.
And she's real cute too. And there was one video that her sister appeared in with her. And it's like, yeah, they were just supposed to be sisters. They just look almost like identical twins, except you can tell that, the one is like a year older. Yeah, Triceratops did not have opposable thumbs. Oh, please don't. With the headphones on, whistling is painful.
Well, stick some cotton balls in there.
Sorry, I can't handle high pitches normally.
Okay, I put a link in the chat thing.
Okay, Brian Stevens says in Raptors it would be a hallux. I have never heard that term before. I don't know what a hallux is. I gotta Google that.
Okay, I'll give the build up while somebody's getting the link in here. The woman she's a young woman. I don't know how old. I would say 24 to 28, somewhere in there maybe. She's lesbian, and so she considers herself a lesbian folk artist. But she has just a very beautiful voice, and she's released three tunes now. All of them available on iTunes. I imagine Spotify and other places too. But you really should check her out, and she's so good. She should be pushed. When you hear the voice here, you're just going to be amazed at the tone and control she has.
Might be better off just putting the link here instead of playing it.
Yeah, we might get the stream taken down for playing somebody else's music.
Even if she releases it publicly on YouTube, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, even public domain stuff on YouTube often gets taken down. Okay.
I promise I won't strike you.
Well, then never mind.
Okay, and Brian Stevens, yes, I just Googled it. Okay, the hallux are in mammals or in humans our big toe, but the hallux structurally is also the dew claw. That it's the same set of bones.
Okay. So would a thumb also be a hallux, or is it specifically a
Yeah.
foot thing and not a hand thing.
Well, it would also be the hallux because again, it's the same
Okay.
series of bones.
Gotcha.
So anatomically, at least, it is the same. Oh yeah, Mercury Stardust is great. She does home repair, a lot of simple home repair fixes. She's very funny.
Sorry, copyrighted.
Huh?
I apologize. I'm just being a snot
Oh.
because I'm mad.
I do like the wordplay in the name, though.
Okay, yeah, our big toe moved to the front. We lost it on our monkey to big ape evolution. Yeah. Yeah, because apparently decided that for walking upright, we didn't need to have an opposable thumb underfoot. Personally, I think that was a bad move.
So do sloths have opposable thumbs or opposable toes? Or divergent toes?
No.
No, they just have 3 big curly claws.
Yeah, well, that's the big difference between species of sloth is there are 2-toed sloth and 3-toed sloth. And basically, yeah, they just have big forward-facing claws. So I guess they probably have like the dew claw on the wrist, but it is so small it's not visible under their fur.
And they poop cubes.
No, that's not sloths. That's
Oh,
quokkas.
you're right. No, not quokkas.
Quokkas.
It was
Yeah.
land animal of some sort. The sloths just nearly die every time they poop.
Yeah, sloths come down from the tree once a week to poop, and that's when they're most vulnerable.
So what critter poops in cubes?
Sloths.
No, not sloths.
Oh.
Oh, what's it called again? I'm forgetting the name.
All right, I see you're going to force me to go look this up.
I got it.
Okay.
The wombat. Wombats poop in
Okay.
cubes.
Wombat. Okay.
And why is that?
Because they're very boring and are a square asshole.
Well, part of it has to do with that their poop has virtually no water in it. So it's like it winds up getting pressed into cubes in their intestine, and it does not deform when it comes out.
But why a cube? Why not a jelly bean?
Yeah,
it's much easier to move down there, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd think at least a cylinder. You'd think that their intestine should be round. It should be a round tube. So I don't really get why it's a cube.
Well, it's your job to research this. Sure, it's your show. You brought you brought it up most, and so let's go. Come on.
Okay, well, I will Google it again.
Square poop shoots. My poop is dodecahedrons. I'm a very complex person.
Okay, why is wombat poop cube shaped? Because of unevenly stressed stretching walls of their intestines and a slow drying process in their colon. The large intestine has alternating sections of stiffness and flexible muscle, which squeezes the feces into a cube shape as it moves through. The shape is solidified as the fecal matter dries out, and it is useful for marking territory because the cubes do not roll away.
I'll remember that one. That's
That makes
got
sense as a
got lost
like
in
a
the
selective selection
phone.
pressure.
Yeah, it does make sense from an evolutionary point there that that it makes sure that their territorial markings, stay where they put them.
because wombats are so fierce.
And Aunt Jer, that is fascinating to know about Ember and Jess.
Okay, native atheist. Now you have to explain that one.
And you don't need to demonstrate it to us. We'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
So would a wombat do custom toilet
apparently
paper?
our audience poops in all sorts of shapes.
We're being
Sorry,
quite
Jen.
artistic with our shape poop there, huh?
Sorry, Jenny. What were you saying about the wombat poop?
I don't remember.
Oh. So apparently, yeah, that we members of our audience, are okay. Do anyone in the audience? Do you actually just have threads on your anus that you can actually just twist the cake decorating tips onto it so you can do any shape?
That's really weird. That's
Oh, native atheist came up with the same joke.
boy,
Okay,
wouldn't
bye,
that
Brian. Thanks for joining us.
wouldn't that just drive a zoologist nuts if you could do that?
Oh,
So, mommy, a Wilton in my business is a vice, a very large, heavy vice. I'd hate to have to poop one of those out.
well,
Starting to sound like a South Park joke. Maybe somebody poops out a statue of the thinker.
Hey, that last episode we watched about Peter Thiel and 6'7",
yeah.
that is really making the rounds. People loved it. It's just scattered all over the place on TikTok and Twitter.
Somebody also sent me a TikTok thing about the 6'7" thing. Claiming that 6'7" refers to the 67th element on the periodical chart, which is selenium, which has the abbreviation HO. So that the whole joke about the 6'7" thing is that they're calling you a hoe.
The joke is a nonsense thing.
Yeah, well, that's I wasn't really buying that, but that's, like I say, it's something that apparently is being pushed on TikTok now.
As I understand it, there was an interview with a number of basketball players, and they were discussing each other's height. And one guy was 6'7", and the others were taller. And when the short guy said what his height was, they all kind of went 6'7", because they said it was 6'7", and 6'7",
That's
Yeah.
part of it.
But who knows? I think it's absolutely riotous that it's
Hey,
a thing.
Sammy-san.
It's so stupid. It's wonderful.
That's the point. It's stupid.
And I guess teachers are really upset about it. That just like on South Park, that kids do it a lot, and it drives the teachers crazy.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's just another TikTok fad, and it'll be eclipsed by something else and fade away swiftly.
Probably.
My vibe is that this one's going to stick. We're going to be talking 6, 7, 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, people. Well, record the two predictions, and 10 years from now, tell us which one's right.
Fine, I'll be dead. I don't care.
Well, maybe in maybe another 10 years, this channel will have made it to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you won't be dead yet. Close, but not quite.
I won't even be close.
Yes, you will.
Nope. I'm going to make it into the triple digits.
Well, if I can get one of those Wilton cake decorating tips to work, maybe at least that part of me will last into the.
Well, it would be a great party trick, although you probably wouldn't be invited to the next party. Andre says it's going to stick like wombat poop.
So the element with atomic number 67 that does have the symbol, the abbreviation HO, it's called holmium.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, selenium is Se, and it's like 34.
Yeah, I don't even know what the characteristics of that element are.
Well, it's it's on that thin row in the middle, so I'm thinking it might be one of those ones with a real short half-life that you would never come across a usable amount in the natural in nature.
What, holmium?
Yeah.
Because selenium's all over the place. Selenium is in your fucking shampoo, in your vitamins, and the light meter of your camera. Well, old-time camera, not current.
And it's also apparently used for killing aliens.
It is.
Ever see the movie Evolution?
Yep.
Nope.
It is used in nuclear reactors to control nuclear chain reactions. Also used in specialty magnets, lasers, and it was first isolated in 1878. So I stand corrected, or I sit corrected. It is not one of those that you have to, artificially create.
No, those are the higher numbers, like 103 and up.
Yeah.
Well, see, yeah. And Jer has the answer.
And
Selenium is what you use to clear the energy from your crystals and recharge them.
oh well, there you go.
Well,
I thought you had to use moonlight.
yeah, the reference that Mage was making is that selenium is the active ingredients in Head and Shoulders.
Though actually, they kind of got that somewhat wrong. It's an active ingredient in some products of Head and Shoulders. There's not all of them.
Ah.
And the ones that they actually show them using would not have had the selenium as the active ingredient.
I had wondered if Head and Shoulders had paid them for a product placement in that movie.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have used the brand name. Sorry, distracted here for a minute.
And holmium's half-life is like around 4,500 years.
One of the drugs I take has a half-life of a whole year.
That's how long it stays in your system?
No, that's how long half of it stays in your system. And then half from that takes another year.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, and it fucks with your thyroid, which is why it's been brought to my attention.
That's always fun.
And
Yeah,
then the year
they
after
should
that, the
give you
other half is gone.
They should give you that information before you start taking it.
Yeah.
Well, what really matters is that the effectiveness of it seems to wear off. It's, for its therapeutic purposes, seems to wear off a lot sooner. Because after I stopped taking it, when I lost my medications, my heart rate started to go up within 2 weeks. It started to slowly elevate.
Oh man.
And when I went back on it, it dropped back down to 40 to 50 within a day or two.
Well, that's good. At least it dropped off quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, I haven't even checked my pulse today. Let's see. Of course, it might be really up. I get so excited doing this show.
And it is a nut show. So
44. I guess I don't get that excited.
Sorry, I had a thing from one of the people in my support group that needed an immediate response.
mine seems to be between 80 and 75 right now. That's really normal for me.
My doctor always gets excited about my blood pressure and pulse. I seem to not suffer from white coat hypertension anymore. And when I go in there, it will frequently be 80, 90 over 50, 40, 50, plus the low pulse. Are you sure you don't feel lightheaded when you stand up? No, not at all. I do after I come, but that's different.
I don't know so much about the pulse, but my blood pressure, it's like they take my blood pressure, and if it looks high, I just tell them to give me a minute, and it's like I do like a 2-minute 2-minute meditation thing, and I can drop my blood pressure by 15 points.
My blood pressure is usually pretty good.
Yeah, well, mine's generally good. So if they take a reading, it turns out high, it just means I'm been really stressed that day. Now, why my blood pressure comes out low with the massive amount of salt I eat is a mystery.
Well, there are certain like POTS. You can definitely have low blood pressure as an issue all the time. And
yeah, actually, POTS is one of the things I'm asking my doctor to look into.
Yeah, salt is not as horrible as it was made out to be. They've backed off on a lot of salt things. Yes,
okay.
It still is to be monitored, but it's not Panic City like everybody's made it out to be.
Ever since I started HRT, I've just had constant salt cravings. Some nights I just feel I want to just sit here and I just want to chew on a 10-pound salt lick.
My younger brother's heart issue. They finally let him out of the hospital after 3 weeks, and he is now in a rehab facility.
Oh. Well, I'm glad he's getting the care, but
I saw a photograph of him. He looks like hell.
Yeah, that sounds like it was awfully serious.
Honestly, my first reaction when I saw him that he looked just like my dad did in the months before he died.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah. I didn't mention that to anyone.
So Mommy says writing Ghost Smut has significantly raised my blood pressure. I suppose that Ghost Smut is particularly popular in October.
Yeah, I imagine so.
How did Halloween ever get over involved with sexy this and sexy that, and it's so juvenile. Oh, I'm sexy Mr. Potato Head. No, you're not.
Okay. Yeah, one of the ones that really got me, and apparently this does exist. It is a thing you can buy on Amazon. There is a sexy John Oliver costume.
Well, that would be just normal. His normal dress. He's pretty sexy.
I just I suppose a lot of the sexy stuff, came in with, girls dressing up as anime characters. I think that probably, ushered in a lot of it.
Oh no! It was sexy this, sexy that, sexy nurse and shit like that back in the 70s. It's just gotten much more worse.
I guess I don't remember it that far back. So there was a Halloween party when I was with my ex, and still presenting mask. And she decided it would be funny for us to go to a Halloween party doing the gender swap. So I went as the sexy nurse and she went as a doctor.
Sexy doctor?
Yeah, well, she got really pissed off because I wound up getting attention from a lot more guys than she did.
Well, what would you of course, duh. There's a new argument going on TikTok, and I don't know if somebody just came up with this in their brain or if that's an actual area of serious research. It sounds like it very well is. The question that they put up on the TikTok live for people to comment on or to talk about is, there is no such thing as a straight person. The premise being that if you go back in history and if you go back into, or you go into scientific research and understanding, that there is no such thing as a person who's straight, that everybody is gay to a certain extent.
I'm not sure if I buy that.
I used to say that myself, but over the years I have had to say that it's not even, I don't think, so much a spectrum as I think it charts out more like a bell curve. That you have a small percentage of people on one end who are completely straight and a small percentage on the other end who are completely gay, and the vast majority of people fall somewhere in the middle.
Well, that's what the Kinseys came up with in the 50s. Yeah.
But yeah, I have met a couple of people who I would believe were, well, mostly I met a couple of guys who I believe were completely gay and, would never have any sexual thoughts about a woman at all. So I'm sure that there are some people on the opposite end of that who are completely straight and, would only prefer the opposite gender. But
Yeah.
I do think that's a very small percentage that, fall in the completely categories.
Well, part of the argument goes that, besides the supposed scientific research, is that there was no real definition for straight until Western religion started colonizing the world.
Yeah, but that I think falls more under the category of just because there wasn't a word for it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, see, Theo, that's the thing. You wish you were gay. Well, then just go be gay.
Don't think it works that way.
Don't know unless you try it now, do you?
Yeah.
And that's the point, that if someone were to try it, a Westerner were to try it and they liked it, that just demonstrates that there's no such thing as straight. That everybody has a tendency. Then,
I do think especially there are very few men who are completely straight, because most men, when they're horny, any warm wet hole would do.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah, that's the only reason that what we call a straight exists is because of Western Western religion. You know, the first thing that the missionaries and Western freaks did was to bring a halt to the religious patterns of indigenous people to recognize more than one gender and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. This still sounds a bit of a reach to me.
Yeah, no, I would definitely go along with what Sumami said here. 90% wobbly, 5% straight, 5% gay. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but yeah, I think that's probably a. Actually, I would think the completely straight and completely gay are probably even smaller than 5%, but something like that.
I wouldn't even bother to try and put a percentage on any of it.
I think for a lot of men, how straight they are depends on how horny they are, but that they might not ever think about sex with a man, but if they're horny and the room's dark, whatever.
Well, I think it's a bunch of fun to think about, especially when you're trying to pimp out a bunch of megas.
Mm-hmm.
They do not like hearing you say there's no such thing as straight people. I'm straight.
Well, yeah,
I don't think
because
I'd use that.
what about the super straights?
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Yeah, that's one of the most absurd terms I've ever heard. But
Yeah,
Super straight.
Yeah.
It's like like the opposite of super gay.
yeah, well, the super straights I think are just more like severe denial.
The super straights are the guys who won't wash their asshole in the shower because that would be gay.
Oh, that. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the guys who don't wipe their own butt because they think it would be gay to touch their own butt.
In normal culture, we call that childish.
Yeah.
Well, I just call that gross.
Yeah.
It's like, do you even want to sit next to a person who hasn't wiped their own butt all week?
Yeah, the term originated with a guy who was saying that that he could never find a trans woman attractive. That he's attracted to cis women, and trans women could never do it for him.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, he's saying, as far as I can tell, he was saying that from a place of ignorance, of not knowing just how well some people pass.
Yeah, I could show him pictures of 24 women, and he's not going to be able to tell me which ones are actually trans.
Probably.
I did a little online. I won't call it an experiment of let's fuck with their brain kind of thing, and I had AI. Well, I had Greg do it for me. Give me a bunch of pictures of very attractive women through AI, and he did. And I looked at them and I tried to pick out one or two that were kind of masculine looking, and others that are just absolute knockouts. All AI bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would present it to the rampant transphobes to pick out the trans women, and they would always, of course, name the two masculine kind of women as that, and then pick maybe one or another of the non-masculine looking women, and say, oh yeah, these two are definitely trans. There's no doubt. Well. Sadly, they're all AI, dude. Now, how well can you tell?
Yeah, it's like that Olympic boxer from Algeria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody was saying that she was trans. As far as I can tell, just based primarily on the fact that she has a big nose.
Yeah,
she did have masculine features, but no, she was not trans. And
the area she was
Right.
coming from, and it would have been illegal even if she did try to present.
Yeah. That's the biggest ones that a lot of them go by. That if somebody has a longer nose or a squarer chin,
Yeah.
they're going to assume they were born male, and it's like, no,
Pixie face.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. You've just
square
included two
jawline.
of my sisters in that category.
Square jawline's a big one they use.
Mhm.
Yeah, but my two sisters that take after my dad's side have that kind of face.
Yeah. Higher forehead is one they love to pick on.
Or Adam's apple.
Yeah, well, and as far as after my mom's side or my dad's side, that's just, it's the genetic pool of the regions.
Yeah.
That, my dad's side have the Slavic features, and my mother's side have the Nordic features.
Yeah, I love digging into that whole thing. Of, they did a genetic test and found in that boxer was male, and then you actually look into a little bit further, or the place where he sent the lab test to doesn't even do that kind of testing.
Yep. Or the ones that the genetic testing, came back with human DNA, and it's like, yeah, if you read the lab report, it says that probably happened because somebody handled it without wearing gloves.
Well, the very first reports in that episode came from Russian press.
Yeah.
And,
That's what I'm talking about.
That country was so well known for not having men on estrogens to compete.
Adam's apple, Jen. That would be such a fabulous name for somebody who's born female presenting mask. I will have to suggest that one if there is anyone in my trans group who's looking for a name.
Well-
actually, I was drawing parallels with my X-Men fanfics and that whole boxer. I was figuring, in a world where mutants are feared, somebody who excels in like a sport or something might actually get labeled as a mutant, even though they're not.
In a world where mutants are feared.
Oh, I read a great little sports story today on Pink News. The World Championship Darts Association, or whatever their official name is,
Yeah.
had their competition, and it came down to the two people, the two women, and one was a trans woman, of course, as it ends up. By the way, the organization, I should mention right away, is 100% welcoming to trans people. So anyways, this woman made it to the finals of the competition, and her opposition refused to play.
Mm-hmm.
She forfeited the match because that's a trans woman. Well, fine, then you lose.
Well, because we know that, genetically, people who were born producing more testosterone have more power, so they can throw the darts at the board harder, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not it. It's because they all have the darts gene.
Is the darts world gender segregated for the same reason that the chess world is gender segregated?
Yes.
Well,
sure.
I suppose, except the dart world accepts trans people, and the chess world self-initiated that to ban trans women from competition.
What about the pool playing? Billiards.
I don't know the status of that, but yes, billiards certainly doesn't require any sort of gender-oriented strength.
Yeah, it is ridiculous that, the only instance I can see for anybody even trying to exclude any trans women, it is the claim that, like, for sports that require more power, but even that, it's like after a year on HRT, there is a loss of muscle mass.
Yeah,
That advantage is lost after they've been on HRT for a year.
there was a
Yeah,
study.
I will disagree with that.
There's a study he was showing that there's still elevated levels after 3 years. However, another study that went a little bit further, I think it was like 4 years, there's found no difference.
Okay. Jenny, what was your point
I
on that?
tend to be right along the lines of what Mage was just saying.
Okay,
I take it one step further, and I would not allow any trans person to compete in the women's category unless they've had bottom surgery. Because in my own case, of course, it's anecdotal and singular. I noticed a further reduction in my strength capacity after surgery.
Okay, what if they haven't had full bottom surgery, but they had an orchiectomy, which is having the testicles removed?
Well, basically, that's
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah, it's removing the primary source
issue.
of the testosterone.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say personally what I view it as, because I have no right to say those things in public. But yes, I would think that an orchiectomy would do at least the equivalent.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, apparently it takes longer than the stuff I've been reading says.
What do you do with the
but
women
still,
who have naturally high testosterone?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the whole argument in sports, is that sports is an event, a process, a competition of anybody who has advantages. The more advantages you have in sports, the better you do.
Yep.
That's why a Michael, what's his name, the swimmer, and is one way, and why a guy like Aaron Rodgers can be absolutely deadly with his accuracy in a football, and some people just have advantages.
Mm-hmm.
And some people imagine they have advantages. Like Michael Phelps was big on the practice of cupping.
Oh yeah.
Which, as far as I can tell, is just complete snake oil.
Oh yeah, it is. Yes.
Well, it doesn't hurt, so it might help.
Well, then those nasty hickeys that you leave all over your body.
Yeah.
How is cupping supposed to help?
Nobody knows.
The argument is that drawing the blood up to the surface improves blood circulation, thus you can perform better. Is how it's argued to work. It doesn't do that though.
What a bunch of crap.
I mean, isn't the bruising blood leaving the circulatory system?
Yeah, it's pulling it out of the veins into the muscle tissue.
Yeah.
Well, no, not so much muscle tissue. You don't have, cupping is not going to affect capillaries down that deep. It's gonna deal with the epithelial layers, and that's
okay.
About.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to get more oxygen to the muscles or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like people believing in crystals, Oh yes, if you take this out to the moonlight, it gets powerful.
Well, I believe in pragmatic crystal, but doesn't come in here to shill our links.
Well, I believe in germanium crystals. They can help you tune a radio.
What do you use to tune a fish, though?
You can't. You cannot tune a fish.
No, that's the difference between a piano and a fish.
And if you don't believe
tune a piano, you can't tune a fish.
And if you don't believe me, ask Opernakity. Because Opernakity only tunes once. Gotcha.
That took me a second.
I was watching you.
Yeah, it took me a second for my dyslexic brain to rearrange that in the right way.
Journey, I love having you on this panel so much. You're my best audience ever. The first time I told that Opernakity joke, That it was one of my stories, and it took like 5 minutes to get through it. With that punchline at the end, and people would laugh, but people would, oh man, they would groan heavy, and I'd get things thrown at me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Make it to 30 seconds.
Yeah. I live on the ground floor. Sloth Girl used to live on the second floor, but that's another story.
Yeah, it is.
That's the wrong one. Yeah, this is the one I want. There we are.
I hate my nose. Somebody cut it off, please. Maybe if I just shove a hot poker up there and cauterize the whole thing, it'll stop dripping.
No, it doesn't work.
Okay.
I have had periods that the entire inside of my nostrils was completely scabbed, and yeah, it didn't stop it because it comes from way up inside the sinuses.
That taught you to clip your fingernails, huh?
No, that taught me that in the winter, how dry my skin gets, that everything dries out and cracks. So actually I have to start putting some Vaseline inside my nostrils.
Well, that
just so the
is
skin
true.
doesn't dry out.
Skin does dry out and crack bigger when in the winter than the summer.
Yeah, well,
that's why my butt gets so much bigger in the winter.
Yeah, I have the problem in the winter that my skin gets so dry that my fingers crack open and start bleeding.
Yeah, I used to have that too. HRT helped a great deal with that for me.
I hadn't thought of that as being a factor, but yeah, when I think about it, it seemed that last year it wasn't as bad as it used to be. But then again, last year we had a rather mild winter too. So I don't know.
We once had this patient on the unit who was OCD, and her thing was compulsive hand washing to the tune of dozens of times a day, and her hands were always dried, cracked, and bleeding.
Yeah.
And she'd walk around with in bandages, and then would take them off because she had to go wash her hands. And we have to rebandage her. Oh man, it was such pain.
Yeah,
I don't know whatever happened to her. I think she went down the drain personally, but
saline nasal gel. I've seen, I have the saline nasal spray. I didn't know it came in a gel.
Couldn't you just get a squeeze bottle of Jergens or something?
Well, like I said, I just use the petroleum or the Vaseline petroleum jelly because that stuff it stays in place for a while.
I just thought of a photograph I found. I got to see if I have it that I can upload it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's part of my problem too. Is I'm not that compulsive about it, but I do wind up washing my hands, at least a dozen times a day. Just because I'm touching my eyes a lot. Because as much as my nose runs, my eyes do not tear very much. So I wind up getting the little mineral crystals stuck in my eyes.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. So I'm very aware of keeping my hands clean just because, I don't want to touch my eye without thinking about it with dirty hands.
Well, you always get those people who come in and lick your eyes.
I do not know about people who do that.
Yeah, there's apparently this whole thing of eye licking.
Speaking of excessive moisturizer and other things on your skin, I'm sorry, put a photograph for you to grab and upload.
Okay, I'm kind of stuck on the eye licking. Is this a fetish or what?
It's a trend.
And are you licking the eyeball or just the eyelid?
You're licking the eyeball.
Oh, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, no, No, I will pass. I don't care how intimate I am with somebody. I don't think I want their saliva in my eyes.
Well, this is a good time to show that picture.
Okay, mate, you got that?
Oh, jeez.
Damn Teletubbies.
Oh.
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 It's amazing how inference can be so
But-
perfect.
Yeah,
Oh.
except that that's clearly a woman, and we know that Poe is gay.
It's kind of like the Splatoon thing.
Well, it's kind of like that bell curve we were just talking about. Who knows what Bell's really up to?
Well, that's true. Maybe Poe wasn't looking at the woman. Maybe Poe was looking at the other Teletubbies. And
I thought you guys are piggy enough to enjoy that.
yeah, that's a thoroughly decrepit image that will stick for a while. Hey, Sammy.
Hi, Randall.
Oh, hey, Randall. How's it going?
Where have I got any other kicky photographs I've dug up lately?
Yeah, that's why I keep my hands clean. I'm actually surprised that I haven't gotten pink eye, but I think maybe my eyes are just too dry for it to even survive there.
You wanted to know about the eye licking thing?
No, actually, I didn't. But
Oh no! Ah!
wait, and this is like his grandmother doing it.
I don't even want to watch. Icky.
It's their
So,
way of cleaning the eye.
Okay. Yeah, that looks like like a Ukrainian grandmother doing it.
Yeah, it looked like it
Yep.
was.
yeah, I'm with Sumami there. That does seem like a good way to get pink eye.
Hey, Porpoise, how you doing?
Apparently, it became quite big in Japan at some point.
Okay, I can see it in Japan. I can see that fitting into their culture.
Okay, I got two more shots for you. On Twitter, there's this mega guy who's just one of the most annoying creeps you've ever want to meet online, and anything he can make up and say horrible about Antifa, he'll do. He's just a repulsive person. He's even got this macho name for himself. It's not his real name. The name he uses is Gunther Eagleman. And he has this profile where he talks about him being former law enforcement officer. Just all this typical macho shit. Apparently somebody
I've got it up already, Purple.
Oh, okay.
So somebody decided to follow him and find out what he's really about. And here's this picture they got of him at Starbucks eating a banana with a spoon. With his pink sweater. And he suddenly turned into a meme. And people just started screwing with the dude.
That's a sweater. I thought it was a pink cape that he was super gay.
Yeah, no, then we got a banana picture after to go along. One of the things people are uploading to his site.
Oh, jeez. Or should I say, oh, jizz?
And there's others that are even
wait.
less, even more tacky.
Is this one a shot from Ray Comfort's porn video?
Could have been. Except that no, I'm not going to say that. That's too far. Make my nose stop dripping.
Hi, Porpoise.
Porpoise knows Gunther. I finally had to block the guy. I just couldn't take him anymore. But I can still send him nasty things.
So one more reason not to create an account on TikTok. Okay, Jenny, Antiro's recommending you stick tampons up your nose. Have you tried that yet?
No. Oh God, that brings to mind this other. There's a woman on TikTok who does these videos. Oh my God, where she's on her phone. She's pretending she's on her phone, and she gets close to people in public, like on an escalator where you're kind of trapped audience. And she's behind you, and then she starts saying these things. And somebody's filming to get the reaction of the people who are hearing it. And one of her bits is she's talking about asking her boyfriend to go to the store and pick up some tampons for her. She's on her way home. And please be sure to get the largest sizes you can. Something along the lines of you're so big it's just stretched out and everything else is just falling out. And these two women in front of her that are hearing this. What? I wish I had some samples of that. That would be fun to watch. And it's TikTok, so they're not like copyrighted. They're just out there.
Hey, Commander.
There's also
a Molly hug.
There's also a guy who does reaction videos like that, and he goes into other public places, and as he's walking past people or walking behind them or whatever, he's got some kind of fart machine and can just make these absolutely grotesque sounding farts. And just to watch people's reaction, it's like, well, A, it's just a fart, and B, he's behind you. You know? But people really freak out, and it's just fun to watch how squeamish people can be.
Yeah, well, farts and burps are just normal functions of your body. I don't know why there are things that we have to apologize for.
Well, it depends on whether or not you're in an elevator.
Well, although I do maintain that, since COVID, when somebody sneezes, you should not say Gesundheit or bless you. I think the appropriate response is, I forgive you.
Godzilla.
For, spewing your germs all over the place.
Well, if they sneeze into their elbow?
Well, yeah, if they cover it, that's fine. That's the whole point, that people are supposed to cover it.
I just comment nasal orgasm.
Nasal orgasm, okay. Well, again, that's people don't want you spewing your stuff in public.
I initially misheard that as naval orgasm.
Well, the navel can be rather sensitive. I suppose it's possible, but
well,
and I suppose being in the Navy, people in the Navy do that sometimes.
That's what the golden spike is for.
I was thinking that's guys with a severe case of microphalic, that maybe they just move up to the navel, if it's just too small to get traction below.
Did you ever see
No.
that Old Spice commercial where the old fisherman is talking with the young fisherman, and it is just the most salacious, double meaning, double entendre stuff I've ever heard on a TV commercial, and it's all about having sex in out at sea with me mates.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, it was really funny, and it first started running in its full version, and then they cut out the salacious parts and continued running it for a couple of years. I think it was Old Spice.
It sounds like something they would have done.
Yeah, aren't they the ones that do the commercial with that good-looking black dude who they zoom in on, and then suddenly the background changes and he's in some other situation, but the lines continue and fit with it.
Oh, I know the guy you mean, but I don't remember the product that it was associated with. Yeah, I know the guy you mean, that it's the same guy and they keep cutting between different scenes. Like he's riding a horse and then he's on a ship, and yeah.
Old Spice?
I think it is.
Yeah, that sounds like, I think that was an Old Spice commercial.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's
like
been
a
so
football
long
player.
since I've watched anything that had commercials in it.
Oh, well.
But well, I actually like those because that guy was pretty hot.
Well, for a guy anyway.
I definitely was smashed. Yeah, Demon Orb says it's also Old Spice. So, yeah. Oh,
Everything
Okay.
come out all right, Purple?
My back seized up for a moment there. I just tried to lean forward to pet Ethan, and my back was saying, no, we're not going that way. Which I really need to. I need to think about exercising every day now. I was just so used to having an active lifestyle that I never had to consciously think about it before, and now I sit around too much. So I need to just get up and make sure I have my body moving more every day.
Hey, well, what's the word with you and scheduling yourself?
Yeah, I've had just mental issues that have prevented me from getting all my paperwork done.
You
So
better,
it's like,
don't let that happen, Perp. You're gonna lose the window.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, I did just get my therapist and the doctor who prescribes the hormones to write the new letters that I have to send to the university hospital, and then I can get on the get on the waiting list. Fortunately, the doctor at the university hospital has assured me that the hospital has already basically, internal documents said that they have the means, and in spite of anything the federal government tries to do, they will continue all their gender affirming care until at least 2028.
Yeah, until the Nazis decide to come in and arrest everybody involved.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You have a tiny window, and you're going to lose it if you don't get it. And I'm not going to let up on you for that.
Yes. No, you're right. And like I say, it's my own mental issues. I have a pile of other paperwork, and some of it, some things I have lost money on because I failed to get in on the deadline.
Well, this is going to be more than money you lose.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like intellectually, I know it's an issue. Emotionally, I'm just having trouble wading through the paperwork.
Understandable.
Okay, I need to step away for a moment here. So I will be right back.
Don't make a mess.
Well, I have to see how many different shapes I can do.
I'm not going to ask.
Yeah, she's got to go find the right tips.
This nose, sorry I keep talking about it. It is just such an inconvenience. Last night, it started around 7, 8 o'clock last night. I mean, night before. And it started slowing down as bedtime was coming. I said, oh, well, great, it's over. And I go to bed, and I wake up a couple hours later with a soaked pillow. It's gooey.
Oh.
God, it was just awful. So I licked it off and just went back to bed. And oh,
There you go.
I gotta blow that up.
So what are we looking at?
It is a statue made from fossilized poop.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I see it does have some highlights on it. So apparently somebody did polish a turd.
Yes, you can polish it a turd.
Rock me, baby.
Yes, you can shine shit. Remember that episode of Mythbusters?
Yes.
Now, is it which was this on Mythbusters? I missed it.
Yeah, they actually tested the myth. Can you shine shit?
Oh, well, okay. Well, there's proof.
And they found different types of shit will shine better than others.
Oh, well, it's always good to know. Oh, boy. What we don't talk about on this show.
They probably would have had better luck polishing wombat shit.
I think they found that the carnivore shit tended to polish better.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. That carnivores, it tends to be more solid.
It's as someone who used to do lapidary and fabricate and cast jewelry and stuff. That stuff could make some really nice rings. Or a necklace, a shit necklace.
Well,
what fun.
Okay, I don't know how long I have to wait for mine to fossilize.
Well, I have heard of people taking droppings and dipping them in gold for jewelry.
Well, I tell you what, if you eat too much cheese and take some opiates, it's going to fossilize before you ever see it.
Okay, Demon Orb says if you can't polish a fresh one, just roll it in glitter.
I'll keep that in mind.
Here we go. A sculpture made out of dung.
Now that's fresh dung then.
I'm guessing.
Well,
Fresher, at least.
I'm guessing that's probably cow dung because just from the texture of it, it looks like it probably came from an animal that was chewing grass.
I like the fact that it's isn't that supposed to be Venus? Wasn't it Venus in the original?
Yeah, the Venus de Milo.
Selling for $45,000.
Not here.
It's a museum in China. until being sold to a famous Swiss collector for 45,000 or 300 yen.
Well,
300,000 yen.
it'd be a good investment. You know, if worst comes to worst, you can always use it for fuel.
And it's made out of panda dung.
Oh, panda.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that makes it much more valuable.
Well, yeah, because if they go extinct, they won't be able to make those anymore.
Explain to me why pandas haven't already become extinct. Have you ever watched them behave?
Yes, the pandas are terrible at pandaing.
They're bad at pretty much everything, it seems.
Well, it's like they have barely any interest in sex, so how do they keep reproducing in the wild? And they're just so slow moving. How did the tigers not eat them all?
I don't know.
Do tigers and pandas live in the same environment?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Asian tigers live in the same bamboo forest with pandas. Yeah.
No, tigers live all the way up to Siberia.
Yep. Yeah, so there are tigers, prowling around their forest, and why they don't eat all the pandas, I don't know. They seem like such an easy target.
All right, I got another photograph I gotta dig up for you guys.
Yeah, maybe we need to find a less shitty topic here.
Well, I mean, seriously, all the tiger has to do is sit at the bottom of the hill and wait for one to roll down.
A panda or a poop?
A panda. I don't think the tigers need to eat the poop.
Well,
However,
poop was the topic that we had been on.
However, many animals, including capybaras, do. Capybara's digestive system is so poor that they have to eat their own poop and run it through a second time to get the nutrients out of it.
Yummy. That might be an interesting thing to add for an alien species.
Well, in an alien species, it might make sense that on a different planet, their system is not set up to digest the food here. So that then they may have to run it through more than once in order to get the nutrients out of it.
I remember I came up with one species. They can breathe our air, but we can't breathe theirs.
Who's that?
It was some alien species I came up with.
Oh.
Yeah, Sumami says baby koalas, there's a number of species, a number of mammal species even, that the babies have to do it in order to just get the bacteria into their gut.
Yep.
Because they don't actually produce the bacteria themselves, so they have to eat the parents' poop in order to get the bacteria to get their digestive system started when they go off milk and try to start eating solid food.
Yeah, it's another species that's questionable as hell it's surviving.
Yeah, that seems like an odd kind of symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
The koalas won't even recognize their own food if it's not straight from the tree.
Yeah. It has to still be hanging on the branch for them to recognize it. If you put a pile of leaves on a plate, it will not occur to them that that's food.
All right, I uploaded 3 more pictures to chat. You guys all know who Sheriff Joe Arpaio out in Arizona?
Yeah, Mariposa County.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a real Nazi prick.
I didn't recognize the name, but when you said Arizona, now I know who you mean.
That big macho prick that hits anything that's not bright white. Oh, I see. We're going in that order.
Well, this is the first one that you had.
Here's a little document I fixed. Somebody published this lovely map that shows the most dangerous animals of each state, and they're color coded, as you can see. We have like all that California area is a rattlesnake, and then above that is mountain lion, and move over a little, it's grizzly bear, and then the bison are more dangerous. And then you get down to the other side of the country where you got the green and the red, and it's not Santa Claus, but the green is all trans chasers, are the most dangerous animal, and the red is all Republican Nazis.
Yep.
And I thought I adapted that pretty well. It blends in good.
What's the purple one way up at the tip of New England?
Moose.
Okay.
And here in my neighborhood, it's bears.
Yeah. I haven't encountered bears while I was living in Minnesota, but I haven't been out in the forest as much.
And somebody did a beautifully artistic job here of falsifying a $20 bill.
Yeah.
And
that
the
image
wrecker
was
tearing
just
down the
so
east wing
horribly,
of the White
horribly, just distressing to me.
Yeah.
Isn't that well done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but just the fact that Trump is actually doing this, that he's actually ripped out a section of the White House. You know, it was bad enough when they paved the Rose Garden. You know, but at least theoretically, you know, that could have been fixed, that the next president, you know, could take up the patio stones and plant rose bushes again.
You know, you'd think this would have required a congressional approval.
Well, it all does.
Yeah.
The history of White House modification is that any president has the right to make modifications to the White House. You're like, what's his name? Harry Truman basically gutted the entire White House and rebuilt it because it was starting to fall apart. And you know, all the way down to the basement and stuff, and made it a solid building again. The Kennedys redecorated every fucking room in the public access areas, and made them all represent certain parts of American history and have, you know, artifacts and all this kind of stuff. Harry Truman also, I'm pretty sure it was Harry Truman, also built that entire round section that we see on the back of the White House.
Well, the whole thing is usually minor renovations, and they can do on their own, but major renovations usually require a approval by Congress.
Well, that's it. The president has the right to do it, but they've always had to go to Congress to get permission. And Trump hasn't done any of that. He hasn't provided any drawings, any permits.
That's what I'm saying. Is the minor changes are okay, but you know the major changes usually require congressional approval.
And so he not only didn't get permits and permission, he lied. We're not going to touch the original thing. Well, that made people feel a little bit better. Then, you know, well, we can just tear down that piece of shit when you're done then. But he lied, and now he's tearing apart the White House, the physical property. And it's the man is just, and of course it's going to be in his trailer park aesthetic. You know. Oh God.
We have Junie with us. Hey, Junie. And Jinzu has arrived.
Junie baby, Jin baby.
And this last one
is Joe Arpaio.
Okay, why is he wearing the ballerina skirt?
Well, I think it's one of those. The principal will do something stupid to raise money for the school.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I see someone else behind him there by the cars.
But him being the prick that he is, I decided to write a little message to go along with it when I reposted it on how Joe is finally coming out publicly in his transition, and he's at a demonstration for trans rights. Because all the Republicans deserve to have their gender played with nowadays, because they've been so horrible to us. Well, now it's your turn, kids. You're going to get exactly back what you've been putting out.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, there was somebody that did AI versions of like all the big conservative leaders like Mike Pence and Clarence Thomas and all them as drag queens, and
I saw that.
and
Every one of
the
these
Mike
pricks,
Pence one was really cute.
every one of these pricks, I take into FaceApp and I change their gender and their age, and then repost it to them directly. I save their Twitter account names and make sure they go directly to them. And secret, if you put a dot in front of the @ on Twitter, it not only goes out to that person, it goes out to all of their followers too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Just putting a period in front of the @
Yep. That's what
I
I was
did not
told
know
years
that
ago.
one.
The evil turtle man.
Bitch
Oh.
McConnell.
Oh, Teddy. She looks so cute.
Rafaela.
She kind of looks like that librarian you hated. Is
Yeah.
that Ronnie?
I think so.
Oh, Ronnie's got nice tits. Hey.
Is that from a production of Gone with the
Oh.
Wind or something?
Now that I can't tell. Who is that?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm lousy with faces, so I don't recognize any of these, but
Let's see if I can find some more.
Well,
Maybe there's a couple more.
I'm real serious about that. They have been just absolutely vicious towards trans people for 10 years and all their little followers. That if they think if they are so upset about trans people existing, well, then we're going to make them be upset about that we've included them in the bunch.
Oh, porpoise, that is priceless.
Oh, that's Rudy Giuliani. That's Rudy, baby, who didn't need that picture because he does it himself. Lindsay, she's such a bitch.
And she doesn't even need to have her name changed.
No.
Good one, Jinju.
And this one's real.
Well, yeah, JD. That's why Peter Thiel loves him.
well, and you see that the beard helps hide the angular chin and makes his face more feminine. And this actually has me wonder, about like it was a popular thing, in the circus sideshows to have a bearded woman.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this just makes me wonder if that, if those may have been trans women back in the day.
No, they were. I would bet most likely women with PCOS.
What's PCOS?
Poly.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Syndrome. Yeah. And in that case, women's estrogen production goes way down, and their testosterone sensitivity goes way up, and they end up having issues with like growing beards and
Yeah.
a bunch of nasty things, very nasty things. Polycystic. Yes, thank you.
There you go. Porpoise spelled it out.
Thanks, community.
And of course, the one that Trump just pardoned.
Oh, Georgie Babes?
Yep.
Yeah.
That reminds me, showing my age a little bit here. I was in high school back in the 80s, and there was a girl at my school named Georgia, and she was a big fan of Culture Club. So any kind of costume event, she would dress up as Boy Georgia.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so Nami says, I met a Zelda at a convention once who had PCOS and a bit of hair on her chest area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a
She
terrible.
was still adorable and had a cute little boyfriend who loved her.
It's a terrible disorder. Nice. I've known a couple of women who had it, and we're trying like hell to get pregnant and stuff, and even with in vitro assistance and things, it just was not taking. It's so sad for them.
Yeah.
I saw one PCOS woman who's on Twitter or I think Twitter or TikTok, one of the two. Who cares? And apparently she's got PCOS pretty bad, and she grew a full beard. And she's a trans sympathizer and all that. And so she let it grow intentionally, just to be able to go into women's bathrooms and get them all upset.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the things they don't think about with these bathroom bills.
Yeah.
That it's harassing a lot more cis women than they are finding any trans women.
Yep.
The only violence being recorded in women's bathrooms are when trans women get beat up.
Yep.
I mean, I can't remember a single story in my life where a woman was attacked in a bathroom by a man or a trans woman. It's just like completely made up bullshit.
Well, I had read some stories about a man following a woman into a bathroom.
Yeah, I've heard stories of that.
But yeah, I have never seen a story where a trans woman was the perpetrator.
Bastard.
Lots of stories where trans women were the victims.
Mm-hmm. I understand there was also apparently I don't know if it's a misstep. I don't know how to characterize it, but apparently there's some clause somewhere in the UK regulations and laws and stuff that basically bans a trans woman from going into the women's room and the men's room. So there's nowhere for a trans person to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that they basically cannot use public bathrooms.
Well, the whole separation of men's and women's bathrooms actually was based on sexism in the first place.
Yup. Yeah, I read a little a piece about the history of it today on Pink News, actually.
Yep.
Out of their archives.
And what Sinister Porpoise is saying here, if we're going to prevent people from using men's restrooms, where do they expect women to go at sporting events when the lines are too long? And yeah, I have been with a couple of cis women who, the lines for the women's bathroom was so long and there was no line for the men's bathroom. So yeah, they just went and took the men's, because in the men's, most of the guys are just standing at the urinal, and half the time the stalls aren't being used anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I had used the men's room at Milwaukee County Stadium during the World Series. That was a long time ago. Fucking Brewers, goddamn them! The best record in baseball for the entire fucking season, and they blow it in the playoffs. God damn it! And they've done that like 4 years in a row. Jeez, through two different coaches even. And they've got a phenom for a pitcher. God damn it. Well, at least they beat the Cubs. You know, Sumami, I have considered that if I ever get forced to use a men's room because I'm trans, that I would do that, that I would pull up my skirt and drop my panties and squat over the urinal and be looking at all the men's wangs at the same time, because that would shut them right down from peeing.
I remember a story, I believe it was Aaron Ross telling about how he was at a bathroom in another country, and the women have to actually walk past the guys as they're peeing.
Yep. Now, Jenny, the perfect thing to do in that situation, if you're sitting at the urinal, is just every time you glance over at the men, just giggle.
Well, I think my feeling is that if I am forced to go into a men's room, I'm going to make it absolutely unbearable for the men that are there as much as I can.
Oh, by all means.
Because, well, you know, sorry, I'm one of you guys. That's what the law says. So,
yep.
You know, if you're hung up over it, that's your problem, not mine.
Yeah. The law says I have to be here, so deal with it.
And you piss off men enough, and it's going to make some changes.
Well, you know, and that's the only thing that's really going to get them, you know, to decide to stop passing these bathroom bills, is if enough of the cis people, you know, enough of the middle-class white people are being made uncomfortable by the results. You know, so I love the thing about the trans mask guys, especially the ones, you know, who have like full beards and everything, going in because the law says they're forced to use the women's room now because that's what was on their birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, so this law is making the women more comfortable that you have a guy with a beard in there rather than someone who completely looks like a woman but maybe hasn't had the downstairs plumbing changed.
We were having a discussion on one of the TikTok panels, and the panel decided that because my gender, my emotional and psychological gender, align perfectly with my genitals these days, that I'm a cis woman now.
Were you able to get your birth certificate changed?
Nope. Don't need it.
Well, just in some states, the law says based on what was on your birth certificate.
Right. And who carries their birth certificate?
Mm-hmm.
And where's the law that requires me to own an ID?
Yeah. Not yet, but they're working on it.
Yeah, maybe at some point.
You know, well, according to those laws, this person should be using the women's restroom and in locker room.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds fair. That's what they should do. They should do a Marvel universe. Oh no, that's not Marvel. That's DC. Do a DC universe film about Superman transitioning.
Well, they did canonically make Superman and Son gay.
Did they?
Yes. Then he became an activist, and instead of fighting, eating supervillain, and he protested. It's a terribly written story.
Yeah, I heard that apparently it was, you know, written without any input from any actual queer people.
Huh.
You know, basically, Sorry, I'm trying to pull up a picture here.
Oh, native atheist, that would be awful. I worked at a camera store, processing lab for a while, and of course the camera store was open to the public, and there were publicly available bathrooms there. And one day we had a guy who went in there, you know, and there's no reason for it, and he just decided to crap in the wastebasket and missed most of it, and so on the floor and on the wall, and it's like, what is your problem that you would behave that way? What?
I have dropped a deuce in a urinal once, but it was a situation where the stall toilet, you know, was out of order. So I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Well, you could have pooped in your pants. You know, Ted Nugent does. Why can't you?
It was at a pool, actually.
I wrote him a Twitter a few days ago. I asked him if he cleaned out all the poopies from his underwear.
Okay, here's another one. I'm sorry this is such a low-res picture, but this is Jamie. He's a YouTube creator. And in certain states, he has to use the women's bathroom.
You been looking like that, huh?
Yep. Because his birth certificate says that he is female.
Yeah. Who's going to question them, and who's going to enforce these laws, and how are they going to enforce these? Sorry, you'll have to strip down before we let you in that bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, all the women going into the women's bathroom are going to have somebody inspect what's under their skirt.
So Jenny, is Ted Nugent one of those it's Gato wipe nuts?
No, that comes from him when he went to beat the draft. He crapped in his pants at the recruitment center and stuff. Purposely, of course. Such a fine human being.
What became a popular thing for evading the draft in the Vietnam era was men claiming they were bisexual. Because that way, even if they were married to a woman, that wasn't proof that they weren't. Yeah. So they couldn't claim they were gay, but they could claim they were bisexual.
Well, that was one of the things that I was most concerned about during Vietnam was, what if I got drafted? And I was very, very early in learning about trans and understanding myself. But I thought about, gee, what if I went and told them what my inner thoughts are and stuff?
Yeah.
It scared the fuck out of me.
I can imagine.
It was a very scary time. Yeah, I'm glad that I was at an age where I just missed all that, but yeah, I did. It was one instance where my mom was actually being proactive, and for some of my foster brothers she said that she was making arrangements if one of them needed to go to Canada suddenly.
My elder brother just didn't register. And so he was technically a criminal until Jimmy Carter gave everybody amnesty about that.
Commie.
Yeah. Yep, he was. Isn't anymore, but he was then.
Yep.
I'm the only one who stayed socialist in the family.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm not a communist. I am a socialist.
I won't even claim to be a socialist. Actually, I make it very clear that I believe in social democracy.
Yep.
Or democratic socialism, whichever you want to term it.
Yeah, well, democratic socialism and You know, where it comes to the economy, I tend to lean heavily into the socialism that all companies should be owned by the workers.
And I am so pissed at the mainstream media right now with this Zoran Mandami in New York for mayor. You know, they're letting all this, oh, socialist is mayor, oh, socialist is mayor, oh, horrible, horrible. Well, why
Yeah.
don't you look into your fucking history and realize that Milwaukee had 3 socialist mayors in the 20th century? You know, and the city was wildly successful through them.
Well, I'm fine with private business ownership. But if you get to the point where you're needing stock and shareholders, then yeah, the workers should have a majority say in there.
Yeah, well, and there definitely is a difference between, you know, businesses that are owned by a family and businesses that are a corporation. Although then you got there is a blurred line there because like Walmart is technically still owned by the family, but yeah, there's also they've sold a lot of stock.
And
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby.
That's what I'm saying. You know, once you
Yeah.
get to the point where you're selling off stock and you know having shareholders, the workers should have first dibs and a supermajority say. And
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And there are many very, very successful employee-owned companies.
Yep. Well, my favorite grocery store chain here, that the whole chain is employee owned.
Which one?
The Colburn's Cashwise.
Oh yeah.
That it was started by the Colburn's family, but it's now all employee owned.
We don't have them around here. In Wisconsin, they have Woodman's. I think that's the name.
Yeah.
They have them down in Milwaukee too. And
I
they're
think
all
there's some of
employee-owned.
those in Minnesota too.
Yeah, the closest one to me is like 25, 30 miles. So I don't go there, but
Mm.
I would if they were closer.
Yeah, and when I was living in New York on the East Coast, they have Wegmans, which is also a family-owned grocery chain, but they're only in like 12, 13 states, and the furthest one they have west is Ohio.
Yeah, employee-owned works.
Yep. Now, yeah, the one thing about selling stock, of course, is that if you have a company that's owned by the workers and they need an influx of capital, you know, that's originally what selling stock was for the company to get an influx of capital to do some kind of improvements.
that's why I had my ideas is that the workers are just one part of it, but have a supermajority say.
Yep.
So you can still have that stock and all that to help with finance.
Yeah, that I would go with that. That like public stock options can never be more than 30% of the company's value.
My brother Gary worked machinist, worked at a company that all they did was build. Well, the name of the company was Paper Machinery Corp or whatever, and they built custom purpose machines that made paper cups. You know, the little solo cups, but out of paper. And when that owner and whose family was involved, also sons and wives and all that stuff, went to retire, he broke up the company and turned it into employee owned, and everybody got like $50,000. Some outrageous number. And
you know where the paper cups start? I'm sorry, Jenny, you weren't finished?
No, go ahead.
No, if you had more to say, you continue.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Where the paper cup started, I think it was the Chicago World's Fair. But you know that there was one stand that was selling drinks, just drinks of water for a penny a piece, but everybody was using the same ladle. So another vendor who was doing the drinks was saying the water was free and was selling paper cups for a penny each. And that's where the little Dixie cups started. That it was just a little 2-ounce cup, and it's like he had a big sign, free water. So everybody came up to him and most people, rather than using the dipper that had been used by 100 people before them, decided they would rather have a sanitary cup.
Pussies. Keep that crap up. I'm going to start licking your eyeballs.
Oh, we want to go back to that? Okay, we'll let me get some images up.
And honestly, at that point, it was kind of a performance theater, because even if somebody bought the paper cup, it was still being filled with from the same dipper.
Yeah.
So anybody whose lips had touched the dipper had gone back into the water already.
Might have worked better if you had like 2 barrels, one with the dipper and one with.
Yeah.
So you have your free water here, but you have to, but you have the 1 penny cup, or you have what you pay for over here that you drink from the dipper.
Okay, I just had to highlight this because I think Sinister Porpoise has had the most insightful remark in the chat yet.
That one.
No. The one above it, this one.
My company was employee owned. I was the employee, but
Yep.
Also, add in maybe the option for the local resident to be able to get into it as well.
I will be right back.
So your customers actually have a say in the business that they go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm also very big on family-run companies, even the bigger ones. That Menards is a regional chain here. They're competing with Home Depot, but Menards is still family-owned, and I can tell you that mostly I would rather go there because of the way they treat the employees. You can see it makes a big difference. And the employees even included in their benefits is, I think it's if somebody works there for like 3 years, they become eligible for college scholarships. So they hire the teenagers while they're still in high school, and they have a chance that, like a year or 2 out of high school, they can get a scholarship.
Found those. Oh, I kind of like this one over here. The only person Trump ever hired who was actually qualified to do their job was Stormy Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah, and what a horrible job she had.
Honk if you never drunk tech next war plans. They're eating the checks, they're eating the balances. Yeah, those are good ones.
Oh, yeah. Where was that one I had that I had posted to the group recently? But the book. Dang. I don't know where I put it. It's not here anymore. Oh, well. Not important. Oh, there it is.
I'm back. My bladder was
Hi,
gone.
back. I'm Journey.
I'm front.
Mage, are you in the middle? Mage in the middle?
Stuck in the middle again.
Okay.
Mage is in the middle between 2 trans women?
And Mage, do you know where Steely Dan got their name?
No, I don't.
It's the name
It's a
of
sex toy.
Yes. You can. It's okay. You can say dildo. Come on.
Here we are. This is the AI video I was looking for. Wait for you to finish your thing.
Christy Dome is like a box of chocolates. they'll both kill your dog.
That woman just.
Yeah.
I'll just mute that. I'm not sure. Actually, yeah, let's see if we might be able to get away with it.
Let's make America
I'm a
glam again.
I'm the elephant in the room, and I'm not afraid to sparkle.
They call it trickle-down fabulousness.
I believe in limited government, but unlimited glamour.
Don't tread on me unless you're wearing fabulous heels.
GOP stands for Glamour on Point.
I'm a fiscal conservative, but I'll never skimp on style.
Stars, stripes, and stilettos. Now that's what I call liberty.
You.
I'm here to cut taxes and sashay away.
In God we trust, and in glam we must.
I'm here to filibuster with flair, Queen.
Is that supposed to be?
Also take note, folks. Help me in my campaign. I want you all to spread around that Nancy Mace is transitioning, and she has a strong resemblance to Mel Gibson.
Transitioning. Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine is dead, though, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I mean, that might be better, but...
No, I actually have shots of Nancy Mace where she does kind of have a Mel Gibson resemblance. That's what triggered me on that.
So is that when she's Yeah, I'm not gonna make that joke.
Yeah, back. Okay, so Porpoise, was it Athena stealing our cheeseburgers?
Yes, it was Athena.
Yeah, I figured that those were her commenting.
Well, Athena, I need to remember to get you a vet appointment.
Yeah, it's almost time for Sammy Slim's annual checkup.
Oh, she also needs her teeth cleaned. I'm sure she's not going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
I feed Molly these things that clean her teeth.
Well, I mean, Athena gets like teeth cleaning treats, but occasionally just need their teeth professionally cleaned like we do.
Exactly, so mommy. That's why I thought she'd be perfect for that harassment. You're harassing her. Yeah, I am.
So, I've had a dilemma when trying to write jokes because I'm a conspiracy theorist bit, and I can't think of a joke that makes flat earthers look more ridiculous than they already are.
There's your joke.
I saw a posting by some woman who titles herself Dr. Naomi something or other. PhD or whatever. She's an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, what a surprise.
Which is plenty stupid all by itself.
Yeah.
But she's also come out as a chemtrail aficionado. And she posted this picture of just your basic, very light cirrus clouds up in the sky. Nice wispy little things, no structure to them. They're just kind of there. And she's making some stupid comment about she's having trouble breathing because of these chemtrails. And I just couldn't take it, and I wrote back. I absolutely called her stupid right to her face. And other thing, I asked her how she can breathe without instructions and that sort of thing.
Can I say publicly that anti-vaxxers should get shot?
Or get a shot anyway.
Get a shot, yes. Get shot, no.
No, that's I said shot. I just added the S on the end a little late.
I feel sorry for Tylenol. There's talk going around the Congress that they're going to require Tylenol to put a big autism warning on their product.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they should do that, but also include the phrase RFK Jr. is a total moron.
I think they should do something like that if they're forced.
Or better yet, put it in like, you know how you used to get those like jokes in like Bazooka Joe bubblegum?
Mm-hmm.
Put it on a warning like that with some other jokes. Show them how seriously they take him.
Or
they
could do like Snapple did and like print a joke under the cap in each one.
I would put it in terms of graphics. I would put it in its own box. It says the United States government requires us to say this, and then make the statement. And then outside of the box, in their standard directions or something, just say that this is an absolute untested concept, that it's a conspiracy theory brought on by stupid people with ulterior motives. Because, the cure for autism is going to be Dr. Oz's natural supplements from his company.
Yes, I've heard about that.
You need to cut that down. The government requires us to put this scientific pseudoscience jargon in onto our labels.
Well, no, just the same disclaimer, that's on the supplements, that, the little asterisk that says, this statement has not been verified.
Yeah, there you go. The statement we are required is not verified.
Well, I see the sun is in exactly the wrong angle. And I can't bring it down too much or the cat will get it.
Well, see, that's why I built a shelf on my windowsill that's a foot wide. And then I built an extender so that my curtain rod comes out inside of the shelf, so that even when I've got the curtains drawn shut, the cats can still lay out there in the sun.
Well, I didn't put these up. It's Venetian blinds, and the cat loves to play with them.
Yep.
So the Venetian blinds have been moved out of her reach.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that problem with blinds.
Your cat's
also,
blind?
Well, the blinds can also be dangerous because the cats can actually, get themselves strangled if they get tangled in the strings.
I will not be making comment at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have curtains or just like pull down blinds and that keeps the sun out.
Yep.
I'd also
actually, for my living room curtain, I've got a giant pride flag hanging here.
I don't think I could get away with like doing that where I live, because one thing I have in my window right now is like a patriotic looking hex sign, which I'm calling MAGA camouflage. Because I don't want to have weird conversations with these people about why I don't like Trump.
Yeah, well, when my transition became obvious to the neighbors, at that point it was too far for me to go back any, so.
Yeah, I mean, my cats destroy blinds.
Yep. Yeah,
Well,
as Mage is illustrating for you here.
That is such a difficult position in life is transitioning the early stages.
Yeah, well, and with the tattoo on my arm, it's, unless I wore long sleeves all the time, it was going to be obvious to everyone.
Oh.
As far as any of the stores that I went to on a regular basis or that, they probably would have recognized it.
Get away from the blinds, Athena.
So yeah, for the first about the first 2 years, I was a bit nervous about things. still wondering how a lot of people are going to react. Fortunately, my building manager was great about it because she was the one I was most worried about. You know, just because if she wound up being a transphobe, you know, could she have found some excuse for not renewing my lease? But more than anything, I got the impression from her that she was curious, but she didn't know how to ask any questions without risking offending me.
See, you should just ask. Well, no. Sometimes you just need to ask the questions and.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm being very open about being trans, so that, you know, people who have questions, I'm trying to let them know that it's okay to ask me questions. And with my autism, most of the time I don't even know when somebody's trying to offend me.
And
What is
speaking
that?
as, yeah, what is that?
I think that was Jenny applauding.
Ah,
I have no idea what you're
and
talking about.
speaking as a cis dude, I very much appreciate Purple your openness to answering questions and being willing to interact with noobs like myself.
Well, and there is one other woman in the building that I'm pretty sure is trans. She, you know, lived upstairs a few doors down from Sloth Girl. You know, and it's like I've like occasionally been in the elevator with her, but that's about the closest thing I've had to an interaction. So, you know, I don't feel comfortable asking her outright, but I've been, you know, trying to be open about it myself so that if she wanted to signal something.
Yeah, I was going to say, usually if I suspect someone might be, I'll take them aside and ask them privately, which is probably not the best way to go about it.
Well, since it's someone I have literally never had a conversation with, it just isn't appropriate for me to do that.
Yeah, see, you need to get over that Midwestern politeness and get to the Northeastern bluntness.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's especially hard here with the Minnesota nice.
Yeah, no. Go spend some. Think like you're in New York.
But turn Minnesota niceness around and realize that it isn't just you that's nice. It's all the people that you're going to tell too.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in this red county, and if people can tell that I'm trans, they're certainly not saying anything to me about it.
Most people just don't care that much. I mean,
Well,
no, they don't.
Yeah, that's the same here. That this is, you know, this is a red pocket I live in. But yeah, it's been my experience that, you know, at least 90% of the people either don't care or just aren't that observant. That anybody who's carrying a purse and wearing jewelry, they're going to assume is female even before they look at the face.
God damn fucking electrical problem around here.
Oh.
Well, and in this area, many of the women you see, they might have a beautiful, cute face and a nice figure and stuff, but they're wearing shit covered and dirt covered clothes and stuff because they're farmers. And
yep.
You know, femininity just has a different stereotype here than it does in urban areas.
Yeah, they're used to working girls in overalls.
I'm sure that I'm considered very girly in this town I live in because I'm always in a skirt or a dress, and most of the women aren't.
Yeah,
I'm sure I stand out that way.
Athena, you're going to have to get higher if you're trying to show your butt to the camera.
I've gotten a lot of compliments on my outfits from the people in the building, and you know that's been very relaxing.
Junie, congratulations! You're in one of the most positive trans places on the planet.
Yeah, Junie has moved a lot closer to us.
Hooray! Woohoo! Well, still about 140 miles, but
yeah, but it cuts about 2 hours off the drive for me to visit her.
And if you go visit her, I'm on the route, so you can come pick me up.
Oh yeah, I would have to pick you up on the way.
Oh, speaking of which, or not speaking of that, has anyone heard what's going on with Indiana University in its newspaper?
No.
Well, Indiana University was quietly taken over by the governor of Indiana, who was like a Christian nationalist, and he tried to put the board, aka Florida. Then he tried to order like the Indiana University Daily Student to cease its publication right before homecoming, which they had to do. But Purdue has its student press is actually independently owned. So it put out in the Indiana University Daily Students editions and drove down to Bloomington to make sure their papers were filled.
Cool.
Wait a minute. I kind of missed half of that. What happened? I got the governor thing and taking over the school and trying to close down the paper.
Yeah,
they ordered the student
paper.
They didn't try to, they did it. They ordered the Indiana University Daily Student to shut down. So Purdue University has a independently owned student press. So the Purdue University students put out the Indiana University Daily Student Edition, drove to Bloomington from Lafayette, which is like a several-hour drive, and filled the Indiana University Daily Student newspapers.
Wow.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good for them.
It's great to see those kind of shows of unity.
Unfortunately, my university had nothing to do with that because no one has done anything similar to Indiana State so far. No one cares about Indiana State. Other than the people who live here for the most part. And honestly, a lot of teachers in Indiana get trained at Indiana State as well. Athena, what are you doing?
Well, I'm expecting at some point, since I do live in a red county, that at some point some of the local school boards are going to try and do some things, and I've decided that if that happens, I'm going in to testify and do my little 2-3 minute talk. I'm just not going to let it lie. Not in my neighborhood.
Well, I would attend more school board meetings, but one, I work for the school district, and I don't want to be involved in the politics there as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't risk your job. It's too hard for trans people to get employment to begin with.
Well, it's just I work for them. It's like I spend enough time in their buildings. I don't need to spend more.
Yeah.
When I was a reporter, that was different because I only attended and I wasn't there to say anything. I was just there to report. Athena, stop chewing on my cord. That is not a kitty toy. Despite what those purr and ink cartoons you've seen said, humans do not love wireless tech so much that they want you to chew on the wires.
Yeah, that was pretty much my sole requirement that I told them when I was adopting cats from the shelter. I said that as long as they didn't chew on cords, pretty much everything else is negotiable. Even to the point that I haven't really gotten upset with them for ripping up the side of my recliner. Yeah, if I wound up having an animal that chewed on the computer cables, that would be an issue.
I missed that. Sorry, I just missed something again today, and I keep forgetting it's just at a weird time, and I don't want it to be at that time. It's not your fault. But like 4:30, it's like I'm winding down from school. It's just on a Wednesday. It's like I have other things to do.
Oh, yeah, it's after 5 o'clock. I hadn't been paying attention to the time, but yeah, I've got a meeting, a group meeting tonight.
Oh, you're gonna go hang out with those perverts and kiss us off, huh?
Well, so I should be wrapping this up by 5:30.
I'm just gonna have to start putting it on my calendar. It's just I don't.
Well, Junie, Perp, we could try to arrange something like before Thanksgiving. They're talking about the winter up in this neck of the woods of the country is going to be pretty severe this year.
Okay, I'm still on my stream here. So I will call you back as soon as I finish the stream. Is that okay?
So if we want to do something, we might want to make it happen before Thanksgiving.
I'll believe.
Well, I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next 20 minutes. Okay,
we could stay overnight at Purple's house. Or we could have a mini orgy.
Hey, I mean, I've got a small apartment, but yeah, if you both wanted to stay here for a night, I've at least got an inflatable mattress I can put on the floor.
So, how is this going to help the orgy? Or did you not hear that
Well,
part?
if you have that set up, then you'd only have to hang one person from the ceiling. Okay, I thought that was going to be funny. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Jenny. Sometimes the jokes just don't land because it's the wrong audience.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Mage.
So who's got the swing chair?
Yeah, I have actually been called on to, install things like that would hold people suspended.
But on the other hand, I mean, I have discovered that a great deal with dealing with these MAGA morons when they're trying to think they're being clever is no matter what they say, treat it as if they're saying something kinky to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone told me, it's like a white jacket that buckles in the back would be good. Would do you a world of good. I'm like, hey, slow down. Buy me a couple of dinners first, and we need to talk about a safe word.
Well, when I was self-employed doing the home repairs, that most of my jobs came because I had developed a good reputation in the queer community, so that people didn't have to worry about hiding their stuff when I came into their house. But yeah, I also, big overlap with the kink community as well. So I did get called on for, like, how do you do things like hang a swing from the ceiling? Especially when you need something that's guaranteed to, hold at least 300 or 400 pounds in case it's more than one person.
Or just me.
So Purple, what's your preferred method for finding joists for finding ceiling joists?
It depends on what the ceiling's covered with.
Plaster and lath.
Well, plaster and lath is a bit more difficult, but, usually you can wind up, if you know how to look for it, you can usually wind up finding one of the patches where a nail head is or a screw head. And a lot of times it's running my hands over it that I can't even see it, but I can just feel a slight texture difference between the drywall and the patching compound that they use to hide the holes.
Or you could realize that technology has advanced quite a bit. You can go to Menards and buy one of them stud finders for $20.
But the stud finders don't really work well on the lath and plaster. They work on the drywall, but the older lath and plaster, it tends to be too thick for them to really pick up well. I'm dealing with that at Molly's house because theirs is 100 years old, and just that the stud finders give you a lot of false positives on the lath and plaster because there's basically wood under all of the plaster.
Right, I know. Yep. But you could use a stud finder to get you in the ballpark and then do the drill a hole and bent wire technique.
I hear a lot of the stud finders fail when you take them downtown where I live too. Okay, that was terrible.
No, that was
good.
You know what I'm really pissed at? There was that dude who got on Twitter and stuff and announced that he's got the addresses and listening to every Republican who crashed the grinder thing in Milwaukee, and if they didn't swear that woman into office by a certain date, he was going to release all of that, and it never happened.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Grinder Mike is never going away.
Yep. Okay, people, I'm sorry, but I do need to wrap this up so that I have time to get ready for my group tonight.
Okay. Junie, one quick thing: are you on our Twitter
Did I eat
chat?
my notebook? Hey,
Junie,
I need that.
Junie, are you on our Twitter chat? If you are, could you get a hold of me and leave your phone number?
Yeah, I think Junie's still in the group, but I don't know if she gets on Twitter anymore. I know Junie is also on Blue Sky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're hooked up on Blue Sky. You could always send me a DM there.
Yep.
And I'll send you mine too.
Okay, so Jenni, since you're on stage, you have any final thoughts about any of our topics tonight?
Well, in honor of International Nut Day, I think we should all hug a nut, kiss a nut, pet and stroke a nut, and probably even suck a nut. And try not to throw your back out.
Yeah, I'm not that limber.
I didn't know you were that flexible, Jenni. Okay, we all went there.
I haven't been able to do that since I was a teenager.
I can't do that. I asked them to let me put those suckers in a jar and take them home, and they said, no, we can't do that.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to keep my impacted supernumerary premolar either.
Yeah.
Of course, if they hadn't shattered it, I probably still wouldn't have been able to either.
So, unfinished song. What is the progress on your projects?
I'm currently working on tracking down. So I have one or two prospects of like a transgender clergy member that I can that I'll be able to use their likeness in the photo montage.
Oh.
And still trying to find a trans man, or at this point, yeah, I think I can say that I've made a good faith effort, and if there's another trans woman that I can round up for the last spot I have open, I can work with that.
Well,
and
have you tried asking Ember?
She's already on the list.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured that she would get involved in this.
Yep.
I don't know who you've got on the list, so I don't know who else to suggest.
Yeah, I've got let's see.
Well, you can let me know,
okay,
in a DM later, and I'll see if there's anybody that I know that you don't have on the list yet.
Okay. And also, I've got some real life stuff coming up that's making my free time a little more interesting. Like I've started putting in like a day of overtime every week, which is helpful for the wallet, but makes coordinating my free time interesting, as I said.
Actually, if you can send me, just a brief description of your project, I have a trans group I can post it to. I know there are some trans masked people in there.
Okay, sure.
Okay, Porpoise. what's going on with you?
Well, I'm trying to make it through the semester. Both the where I work and where I go to school, because I would like to finish up my master's degree before Trump makes it impossible. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Clapper. It's at Mad Computer Scientist. I'm getting close to what they call creator verification there. I just need 500 more followers.
Yeah, shouldn't you be working on your mistress degree?
Don't
I
say it.
believe the original title was Magister, that you could put in front of your name. We need to bring that back.
Okay. I am not
The
familiar
original
with that
Latin.
one.
Magistra Sinistra Porpoise.
I like it. It sounds, quite noble, quite, nearly royal. I'm sorry I interrupted you, though. Anything else, sir?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that I will be able to continue my job for a while, but if I don't, I'll come back to YouTube and hopefully try to do that while looking for another job. So,
well, and I know you've been doing your jokes on Clapper. So,
well, hey, speaking of which, guys, mock a fascist today.
Yes.
That's
That sounds like that would be a great sign-off line to use.
Hey, Jenni, let me ask you one question. Based on something you said today, and I may just be hearing your words wrong. Up to this point, I've had the impression that you're going to have this video where there's going to be a song, and each trans person you bring on screen is going to be singing a particular line of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, and nobody's going to be on camera. Yeah, I've got in mind a montage of still images, for the video montage.
Okay.
Like for instance, the images of Stonewall and Marsha P. Johnson and Compton's Cafe and such. And
Okay, then what's the point of having all these different people if it's just going to be a montage with music behind it? Isn't the idea to have the people and highlight the just regular faces that were normal people and all that kind of stuff? So
the people will be singing the different parts of the song, and then after the song is over, there'll be like a credit roll. Yeah, where each performer will have their.
But so you're missing my question.
Yeah, but
my question is, how is the world going to know that they're trans?
Well, that's what the credit roll is for. It'll have their name and a picture of them and what their status is, if they're trans or an ally or what.
Okay, so you are going to put pictures in the credit roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I would think that, and I hate saying this because I know it dances around the passing stereotype and all that. That one of the things that sadly can help us with the general public is that we have people representing the trans community who look normal to them.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just questioning, or not even questioning, just trying to understand better.
Gotcha. And on that note, I do have kind of a question to pose to my advisory committee, which is for so the potential candidates that I'm looking at for a trans clergy person, one is non-binary, one is trans femme, and I'm and I've put a couple feelers out with other people, like, friends that I know personally, that I'm saying, hey, do you know of any openly trans clergy who would be, willing to have their likeness used? And so I'm wondering, what kind of representation.
Well, I think it would definitely be good to include some non-binary people.
Okay.
You know what also might be a good thing to include in the credits is just a single word describing their position, like teacher, doctor, lawyer,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be good, just to show that we come from all walks of life.
You might not be doing a teacher a favor if they work in a public school.
That's true. Yeah.
Something you have to negotiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well,
I
just
suppose
leave it
I would-
open for however the person wants to identify themselves.
Bingo.
So on mine, you would probably just put me as purple extinct.
Well, you wouldn't have me there, so that's fine. Most likely.
Okay, Mage, what have you got going on your channel?
Yeah, well, I got my shows on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can come join me and listen to me sing badly, and
I like your singing. You have a very deep, rich voice.
I go over various pop culture things that happen during the week. Usually, if lately it's been a lot of people dying and or celebrities, so cover that.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, yeah, since you're covering a lot of movies that came out like in the 80s, that the people who acted in them are aging out.
I'm trying to put something together for zombies to finish off my October here.
Okay, well, I don't have anything going on other than we'll be back here the same time next week. So,
same bat time, same bat channel.
Appreciate you all coming, and I'd like to thank our supporters: Kitty the Atheist, Robert X, Greg Hartwick, Sandy Shore, Skits Crasher, Regios, and our lovely Junie.
Junie!
So,
all right.
Porpoise.
See you here next week. Same purple time, same purple channel.
bye-bye all. Go ahead. I haven't hit the last button.
Be gay. Don't get caught. Enjoy.